Hello children, I made this video for you to watch it again when you're at home, okay? But now you're gonna watch it in the classroom. Okay, these are the exercises of the mock, okay? The idea is that I will go through each of them and I'll try to explain what's happening with the result and all the resolutions, okay? The first exercise, you all did correctly, okay? This 19 goals, there's no doubt about it. You all did it correctly. In part B, here it says 3 points. When it's more than 1 point, means that you have to show the steps. Okay, so 3 points means that you have to show the steps. So, which is the idea? The idea, you can say that the sum of all the teams add up to 43. Why? Because it says teams A, B, C, and D score a total of 43 goals. So if you replace each of these letters of the teams with their value of the goals, okay, you have all the sum equals plus D equals 43. Then all these values, you can add them together and then send it to the other side subtracting, or you can send each one of them subtracting to the other side, okay? And when you solve this is 5. So when you solve this, you have D that is 5, okay? And then you draw the 5 squares. Why is that like this? Because 4 squares represent 4 goals. And if you have 4 plus 1 is 5. So the drawing is this one, okay? 4 plus 1, this is 5. In this case, all of you did it correctly. Some of you brought obtuse on obtuse angle. Obtuse is okay, okay? Again, find this value. It's easy. Most all of you did it correctly. Okay, you just have to solve this with the calculator. And also this one. When it says just 1 point, it means that you have to write the answer. It's not necessary for you to solve the steps, okay? You know how to do this one. Okay, it says, using a ruler and a compass only, construct triangle A, B, and C. It says, live in your construction arcs. What are the construction arcs? The construction arcs are these arcs that you make when doing the compass, when using the compass, okay? So for the first length, that is 6.4 centimeters, you will measure with the compass 6.4, and then you will draw this construction arc. Then with the length 5.3 centimeters, you will mark this, you will measure that with a compass. You will place the point of the compass here, and then you will draw the arc. At the intersection of those two arcs, okay, is the triangle. It says 2 points. What does it mean? This means that if you have done the triangle correctly, then it's 1 point. But if you have done the arcs and the triangle, it's 2 points. Okay. Again, in this case, it's okay to show the steps. It's not necessary, but it's okay for you to show the step, okay? So you know how you have made it correctly. So y equals 6. All of you did it correctly. Okay, in this case also it says 2 points. So that means that it's not only necessary to write the correct answer, but also to show the steps, okay? More than 1 point means show the procedure. In this case, you have the procedure here, it's okay. And in this case also, you have all the procedure here, so you will get the 2 points. Inequality. Inequality, when representing inequality in a number line, it's a straight line, horizontal straight line, which can be with empty points or with whole points. The idea is when you don't have an equal here, you see there's not equal here. When you don't have an equal, then the point is not completed. Okay, it's not full. But when you have an equal here, it means that the point is completed. Okay, you have all the point that with the interior. Okay, so in this case means from -3 up to 2, the line, but the -3 is not included because it doesn't have the equal, and the 2 is included because it has the equal. Okay, so this will be the answer. In this exercise, okay, you had a calculator, so it's basically you have to know which is the highest and the smallest, and you have to arrange them. Okay, always arrange them in the way it's written here. Okay, 3 7, 3 7. Do not convert them to decimals. Okay, so if you do that, you will get less points, but you have to draw the numbers. Okay, with these expressions from the smallest to highest. In this, again, it says work out the day. When it says work out expression, you have to follow all the steps. As I said a lot of times in the class, during the lessons, you have to show all the steps that you have done, okay? Again, this is 3 points. Means that it's not only necessary to have the correct answer, but it's necessary to show all the steps. Okay, how do you do this? Okay, 730 plus 1045 is, sorry, 1055 is 1785. Again, since you can have minutes higher than 60, what happens? You have 1 hour, and then you're left with 25 minutes. Okay, so 18 hours, 25 minutes. If this 18 hours, 25 minutes, you add the hours ahead, 16 hours, then this is 34.25. Again, you can have values of hours higher than 24. So you subtract 24, and this is 10:25 on Wednesday. Okay, so the answer is Wednesday, 10:25. Okay, this is the correct answer, and this is how you get the whole points. If you just write Wednesday and 10:25, you only get 1 point. Okay, so it's necessary to show all the steps. Again, it's 1 point, you don't have to show anything. It's 1 point, you don't have to show any procedure. And it says the gradient is the letter that is in front of the x. In this case, the letter is, the gradient is the number in front of the x. So in this case, the number is 5, so the gradient is 5. If the equation would have been like this one, then the gradient would have been -2, okay? A parallel line means that it's a line that has the same gradient, okay? 5, it has the same gradient because the gradient is 5. And then you have to choose another y-intercept, another value. Instead of -3, I choose 8, okay? So this is a parallel line. Why? Because it has the same gradient, but a different y-intercept, a different value for the number that hasn't have the x, okay? Okay, bearings. With the protractor, you have to put the 0 degrees facing north, okay? And then you have to mark all the way up to 105, okay? This arc doesn't, this line doesn't make sense because this is more than 180. So it will never be 105. So it will be in this direction. And now the length is, if the scale is 1 centimeter to 50 kilometers, and you have 300 kilometers, the distance is 300 kilometers divided 50 kilometers, okay? This is 6. So this will be a measure of 6 centimeters. You don't have to draw the line. You don't have, when you have the line like this, some of you draw the line like this. You don't have to draw that line, okay? Just to mark the points, it's okay. As long as it's in the correct direction. Again, this is 2 points. If you have the bearing correct, the angle correctly, but the distance is wrong, then you have 1 point. If the distance is 6 centimeters, is correct, but the bearing is incorrect, then you only have 1 point. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or in this case, you have been 1 point. 1 point. Again, in this exercise, you can use the rule of 3 or rule of proportion. Okay? 225 grams of flour make 10 cakes. The bags are of 500 grams. So you can say, if I need 225 grams, to 10 cakes, I need 225 grams. For 50 cakes, how much do I need? Okay, so this is the formula here. Okay, this is the equation. This is 1,575. If this much you divide it by 500, because the bags are of 500, then you have 3.15. But you can have bag of 3.15. You either have 3 or 4 bags. So you have 4 bags. Okay, so the answer is 4. Straight lines. When a line is x equals something, it's a vertical line. Vertical. So this is vertical. So it's correct. When it says y equals 3x, here you don't have any number. Okay, so this will be +0. When your y-intercept is 0, that means that the line will go through the center point of the axis. Okay, so it will go through here. This line is, the gradient is positive, so it goes up. It crosses the 0, 0, the point 0, 0, and that's it. Okay, a positive and will go through a point 0, 0. It's B. Okay, for example, this straight line is positive, but it doesn't cross the point 0, 0, okay? This probably would have been 3x plus 3, as you have seen in previous years when working with straight line, okay? Okay, area. Again, in this case, you have to know which are the areas you're working with, okay? Here you have a rectangle, okay? Sorry, a square. Sorry, this is a square because all the length of the sides have the same length. So if you multiply 7.8 multiply 7.8, you have 60.84. So this is 60.84. In this case, if this is 14, and you subtract 7.8, you will have this distance and this distance, these two lengths. And if you divide it by 2, you will have 3.1, okay? It's here. 3.1 is the height. Why you need the height? Because you want to find the area of each rectangle. Which is the formula for the area of a rectangle? Let's see if it's here. Area of a triangle. 1/2 base multiplied height. So in this case, would have been 7.8 multiplied 3.1 base and height divided by 2 multiplied by 4. Why by 4? Because you have 4 triangles, okay? So when you have any doubts about the equations of the shapes you're working with, you have to go to the first page, okay? When you have all the formulas. So once you have the total area of the triangles and you add the total area of the square, you add them together, you sum them, and then you have the final result that is the total area of that shape, okay? Of 1 square and 3 triangles. When working with money, you only have to write with 2 decimal places, okay? Always with money, 2 decimal places. Money, 2 decimal places. Again, if you have written the answer, just the answer is correct. If not, you can use the rule of 3 or rule of proportion. If you have 34.18, sorry, it's 1, then 5,700 is how much? Is this value multiplied by 1 divided by this much, okay? Is multiplied by 1 divided by 34.18. Another way of solving this is by using proportion. That means that 34.18 thighs is $1. 5,700 thighs, how much money is it? Okay? So this will be X equals this much divided 34.18. Okay? Okay, but since it's 1 point, it's not necessary to show the procedure, okay? If you have written just the answer, it's okay. In this one, okay, now when working with when tables of frequency, you have to remember that you have the mean, the range, and the mode. Okay, the mode is the highest value. The range is the difference between the highest and the lowest value. And the mean is the product, the sum and the division between the number and the frequency. 1 multiplied 14 plus the number and the number and the frequency. Number and frequency. When you add all these together and you divide by 50, you have the mean, okay? So the mean is the product of the numbers of these values multiplied by the frequency of all of them divided 50. Why 50? Because it's the total frequency, okay? It's the total frequency.